Now we're more than halfway into 2022 and WWE's had its fair share of highs and lows. Whilst WWE over the past 2 years have made it their mission to cut down the roster to the bare minimum thanks to budget cuts, there are still a dozen superstars lingering in obscurity with absolutely nothing to do, apart from serving catering. Some of these talents are fan favourites and would easily slot into prominent positions in the company, and that's if they were simply given an opportunity to shine. Well, join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at 10 superstars who have done absolutely nothing in 2022. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out Wrestlelamia.co.uk and the non-wrestling channel Incredible. Number 10. Shelton Benjamin. Since rejoining WWE in 2017, former US and Intercontinental Champion Shelton Benjamin has mainly been used as an enhancement talent. But this all changed when Benjamin joined forces with MVP Bobby Lashley and Cedric Alexander. This stable known as the Hurt Business offered some of the best work of Benjamin's entire career, and fans hoped that it would give Benjamin a substantial push in the company. The stable would end up breaking up after it was reported that WWE higher-ups, including Vince McMahon, didn't think Lashley needed to be associated with two lower-card guys such as Benjamin and Alexander. Since the breakup of the popular stable, Benjamin has been regulated to WWE main event, and when he appears on television, it's usually in a lackluster angle or match, usually designed to put someone else over. In 2022 thus far, Benjamin has won just one match on Raw, which is a shocking statistic. WWE could really use Benjamin in a mid-card role, that's if they just saw his value and devoted time into making fans care about the former gold standard. Number 9. Cedric Alexander. At one point in time, WWE fans expected Cedric Alexander to be one of the future stars of the company. Alexander was one of the brightest talents on the 205 Live brand, and he seemed to have a genuine connection with the audience. When Alexander moved off the 205 Live brand onto Raw, it was clear that the WWE had no plans to feature Alexander in a substantial role. Even when he was involved in the Hurt Business, it was clear that he was the weakest link, and he was presented and alluded to as such whenever the stable was on screen. Similarly to his Hurt Business teammate Shelton Benjamin, Alexander has just won one match on Raw all year, and it's unlikely that his position is ever going to change. But one of the issues with Alexander is that the WWE has no idea how to utilize his talent. He seems to go from babyface to heel based on what character they need for a specific match. This is a sign that WWE has no long-term plans for him, and they see him as a dependable yet disposable superstar. Number 8. Tamina. 2021 was the most successful year of Tamina's WWE career. She would finally win a championship in WWE when she and Natalya captured the women's tag titles. Sadly, when the team was separated in the draft, this marked the official end of Tamina's push. In 2022 so far, Tamina has spent her days on main event, and when she appears on Raw, she's chasing around the 24/7 title in channel-changing segments. Tamina seems bound to spend the rest of her WWE career elevating other women, and whilst there's nothing wrong with that role, WWE must try to give some credibility to one of the most tenured female stars. Number 7. Drew Gulak. Before the pandemic hit, Drew Gulak looked set for a monumental push. He would enter into a storyline with Daniel Bryan, and the two would even face off at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view in 2020. However, this didn't lead to anything substantial, and Gulak quickly dropped down the card. In 2022, Gulak hasn't won a single match on television, and he only seems to wrestle in enhancement matches. He was even repositioned in the role of an interviewer, which, whilst talented in this role, he still has a ton to offer inside the squared circle. One thing that is going in Gulak's favour is that he's very popular backstage, and this will likely keep Gulak employed for the immediate future. Now, it goes without saying that WWE could utilise Gulak better and give him something to really sink his teeth into, as Gulak could really help enhance WWE's mid-card. Number 6. Shotzi. When Shotzi debuted on the main roster in 2021, fans had high hopes. She had a unique look, and her presentation in NXT was a true standout on the brand. WWE slowly but surely stripped away everything that made her special, including getting rid of the tank that she would use for her entrance. She would also turn heel, which resulted in her completely alienating her persona in favour of villainous and illogical character traits. The character shift made no sense to fans, and it resulted in fans having no interest in seeing her as a heel. So far in 2022, she's won just one match on television, which is a downright awful statistic. Shotzi has plenty to offer. She needs just the right push, and a reversion back to her popular babyface persona will go a long way in fixing WWE's errors with her character. Number 5. Roderick Strong. 2022 has been a turbulent year for Roderick Strong. He reportedly asked for his release, but he was outright denied. Strong is unhappy with his role in NXT 2.0 and wants out, and who can blame him? Strong is a sole member of the Undisputed Era left in WWE, and his own Diamond Mine stable seems to change members on a weekly basis thanks to frequent releases. Strong is an incredibly gifted talent, and it could be argued that he's one of the best in-ring performers in the entire company. WWE clearly don't see Strong as a top star, and this likely explains why he hasn't been called up to the main roster. They tried giving Strong a run in NXT UK, but this was over in a blink of an eye, and he quickly returned back to his mundane role in NXT 2.0. WWE have failed Strong in their lack of compelling storylines for the former North American champion, and it's extremely plausible that Strong departs from the WWE forever when his contract finally comes to an end. Number 4. Doudrop. Doudrop's 2022 got off to a fantastic start as she was booked in a prominent rivalry with Becky Lynch. This will culminate in a match for the Raw Women's title at the Royal Rumble event, but weirdly, due to the feud being a heel versus heel rivalry, fans struggled to connect with Doudrop as they had no idea if they were supposed to cheer or boo the former NXT UK star. Following the feud with Lynch coming to a close, Doudrop has lingered on WWE television without doing too much. WWE have been keen to throw her into the 24/7 division, and they've also attempted to put her in a team with Nikki Ash. With WWE's lack of care for the women's division and the tag titles currently being vacant, the chances of the tag team getting a feud on television seems very unlikely at this stage. Number 3. Robert Roode. TNA legend Robert Roode is taking a back seat on WWE programming in 2022. His Dirty Dogs teammate Dolph Ziggler received a career resurgence of sorts in NXT 2.0 by winning the NXT title. However, Roode hasn't done anything of note in 2022. As things stand, he hasn't won a single match on television all year, giving him one of the lowest win-loss records in the entire company. Ziggler has recently returned to WWE television to enter into a feud with Theory, whilst Roode is completely absent and seems to be cheering on from the sidelines. Number 2. Shayna Baszler. I remember when Shayna Baszler was one of the most credible and legitimate stars in NXT? While her main roster presentation and booking is a complete contrast. She has failed to be utilized in any capacity in 2022, and her win-loss record is frustrating and disappointing. She's won just a handful of matches in 2022, but she seems now only placed on television just to put someone over. They did attempt to put her in a tag team with Natalya, but fan interest in this tag team wasn't exactly high. Fans had hoped that WWE could possibly look to book a feud between Baszler and real-life friend Ronda Rousey, but it doesn't seem like WWE has any plans to feature this rivalry anytime soon. And number 1. Alexa Bliss. And when The Fiend was released from WWE back in 2021, they decided to continue Alexa Bliss's supernatural gimmick. This is a decision which received criticism, as the character even existing without The Fiend didn't make a ton of sense. Nevertheless, the character was a big merchandise seller, so WWE allowed it to continue. Her character got stale rather quickly, and she was consequently pulled from TV. She would return in 2022 with a hybrid gimmick of a goddess persona and a supernatural gimmick. Despite her return, she has had the worst year on the main roster so far, as she's not got a single thing to do. Bliss hasn't been involved in one genuine storyline, and in the summer of 2022, she even won the 24/7 title, which is a clear sign that WWE really have no idea what to do with the former women's champion. But there you have it, folks, 10 WWE superstars who have done pretty much nothing in 2022. Do you guys agree? Let us know in the comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.